Hey ladies, my name is Jenny Chaffetz and I am the host of Sideline Sisters. Are you a busy mom, powerhouse professional, or high-achieving go-getter? This show is for no BS women who want to be inspired to get off the sidelines of their lives. Ever feel like you're playing small or safe or just on autopilot? My guests are relatable women who've gone on a journey, overcome challenges, and lived to share the lessons that we want to hear. These conversations will be funny, sad, scary, wise, encouraging, and most of all, real. So whether you're driving, doing chores, exercising, walking the dog, or just laying on the couch, settle in and enjoy. I want to invite you to take back your power, reignite your passions, and step off the sidelines. Let's go. Hey everybody, welcome to this week's episode of Sideline Sisters. I'm your host, Jenny Chaffetz, and if you have been listening for a while now, I am so thankful that you continue to tune in week after week. And if you're new to the show, I'm thrilled that you found it, and I hope you love today's episode and settle in to binge the many, many episodes that are now available for you. I am excited about today's episode because I'm talking to Nancy Griffin about wealth. And for the diehard Sideline Sisters listeners, you may recall that over a year ago, I interviewed Eileen Joy in episode 37, and we talked about money stories and the sort of spiritual relationship that a person has with money, which is always rooted in our childhood, the messages we heard, and things we experienced. So it's been a while since we talked about money, which is why I'm thrilled to welcome Nancy Griffin, the CEO and founder of Women, Worth, and Wellness. Nancy is a connector and influencer. She attributes her success to personal courage, determination, and joy when focusing on women's health and wellness, hence creating Women, Worth, and Wellness. Nancy enjoys every opportunity to inspire and inform women about their personal health and wealth, net worth and self-worth, philanthropy, and legacy, so that women feel fabulous, generous, joyful, confident, and on top of their game every day. Nancy Griffin established Women, Worth, and Wellness in 1994 as a private client wealth advisor for her female clients and their families. She continues to promote and inspire daring and caring leaders, encouraging them to step up and lead in the world, following in the footsteps from many other powerful women leaders in the past. Nancy's overall purpose is to connect and influence for positive impact every chance she gets. And you will hear that in this conversation. You will hear a woman who brings so much positivity to the work that she's doing and really just wants women to rise up and accept the incredible power we have when it comes to making money, spending money, and stewarding money. And interestingly, this idea of women, worth, and wellness ties beautifully into what I'm working on at Gentle Coaching, which is women's health and wellness and vitality. So many women I know are just resigned to feel crappy as they age or inherit the problems they see in their families as far as diseases and ailments go. And just as Nancy wants to empower women and their wealth, I want to empower women and their health. She speaks to that as well, but I'm really getting into the weeds with you in this new program. As a vegan lifestyle coach, I want to demystify existing beliefs around veganism, simplify it, and motivate you to take your health seriously, but also as a fun adventure. And I will tell you, since going vegan, I have never eaten a more diverse and interesting array of foods. When I was following the standard American diet and counting and tracking and weighing and measuring and all the things that women do to, quote, stay healthy, I was eating the same boring foods over and over again. The same light, low-fat, low-carb, low-cal, low-taste things like white meat chicken, turkey bacon, egg whites, skim milk, non-fat yogurt. And if you notice the pattern, those are all animal foods which weren't helping my health, interestingly. I slept poorly, I was bloated all the time, crazy inflammation to the point that I had sinus surgery after years of chronic infections. And no surprise, No doctor ever advised me to change my diet in order to reduce inflammation. It was just book this procedure. I want to give you hope and let you know that when we're talking about going vegan, going plant based, going whole food plant based, we're doing it in baby steps. So if your attitude is, well, I could go vegan, but I just can't give up seafood. Okay, we work with that. We start there. That's a big, bold step. And I want to tell everyone who doesn't know my story, before I went vegan, just a few short months before I made the switch, I owned a baking business where I used eggs, butter, and cream on the daily. Lots of it. And I ate what I made. So in addition to all that low-fat protein that I mentioned, I was eating lots and lots of cookie dough and buttercream frosting and chocolate and candy. So it's no wonder I felt crappy. But so many of us don't even know we feel crappy because that's how we feel every day. Which is why I'm launching a 4-week quick start, because I want you to see in just 4 weeks how you feel. And I am here as a coach to guide and teach and support with crazy amounts of cheerleading and knowledge. I want to give you all the support that I would have loved to have back when I became vegan. But I kind of navigated it myself because I couldn't find a me to work with. So here I am, Jenny at Gentle Coaching, a vegan lifestyle coach, ready to share the wisdom and empower you to look and feel better than ever. So check the show notes for the link or just head directly to gentlecoaching.com/veganism and let's just do this. 4 weeks, grab a friend to do it with you, and if you get your friend to sign up, you receive a referral reward. Now, let's get into today's conversation with Nancy Griffin. Welcome, Nancy Griffin, to the Sideline Sisters podcast.
Thank you, Jenny. This is very exciting. Very exciting. Good for you to be doing all that you're doing.
Well, I appreciate that and send the sentiment right back to you. As we were chatting before pressing record, there was a lot of your story that you gave to me, and I'm going to start off by on this note to the audience that is so relatable, which is you had a corporate career, a lot of women do, and then found yourself at a certain point needing to redesign your life. Yeah, redirect, redesign. And so that in and of itself is incredibly relatable, whether it's pushed on someone or self-driven. A lot of this audience, being midlife women, find themselves at a point of that was then, this is now. What do I do? How did that look for you? How did you manage that point of your life?
Well, I think the biggest aha is when you realize that this is your life. And as I mentioned, we often get caught up in everybody else's, and we're just not spending the time talking to ourselves and saying, oh my goodness, okay, well, this is where I'm at. And this is really interesting. And, this is something that worked, but this is something that didn't work that I'm really disappointed about. But then it's like, okay, so what? Now what? And now what am I going to do? But then coming back to you, it's like, what do I want? What are my responsibilities to my family, to, my current reality? What are my responsibilities? Obviously, you're not going to compromise them. But at the same time, there's always time for you to get to where you want to go without giving up on those responsibilities. So having a big talk with yourself on an ongoing basis is really, really, really key.
Isn't that the truth? And what did that look like for you? I mean, it's so nice to tell people, talk to yourself. So what, now what? Ask yourself, what's my passion? What's my purpose? But what is the reality of that? What does that really look like? What did that look like for you?
Okay, well, when I was at Procter & Gamble, I had a VP who would never let me resign. I tried to resign 2 or 3 times, but he never, ever actively said, okay, well, how can we maximize what you're able to do here? It was always what he wanted me to do. So finally, I realized, what I just said, this is my life. This is not working. This is not making me happy. I'm not going where I'd like to go. And then it's like, well, where would you like to go? And it's kind of like, well, I don't know,
Right.
because you really have to release yourself from this whole cloud that has been over you.
Yep.
Because always when it's somebody in a more senior role, you're always very respectful of who they are and what they have to say and what they're prepared to do for you. But at the end of the day, if it's not working, then sometimes you have to just go and then trust the fact that the universe will unfold and something will happen. So I left, as I mentioned, because we had a community incident, and I had just gone on the board of our community association. And once you step out of corporate life into a community role, it is a whole whole new world. The one thing that I noticed when you're in a corporate role, there's a hierarchy, and you have certain power with that hierarchy. Once you get into the community, there is no hierarchy.
Mm.
Everybody has a voice. Everybody has a right to their opinion. So it's a matter of, okay, what are you trying to do? And how can you accommodate a lot of those opinions to get to next? So it's an interesting difference, really interesting. And you wouldn't think it would be so severe, but it is.
Mm. Yes. I might think it would be that severe.
Mhm.
I mean, if you live in community, everyone's got something to say. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
So once you left corporate, what did your intuition, your inner voice tell you to do next?
Well, I always had leadership capabilities, and I think at the end of the day with Procter and Gamble, they were just not being honored to the extent that they could have been. So as soon as I got into the community, I mean, leadership, everybody wants you to be a leader. And the more you do, the more they want you to do. You're being recruited all over the place. And that's when I said, oh my goodness, after 3 years of this, it's never ending. And so it was at that point that I thought I need to get another role, corporate role, out of the community. And one thing that I'd done a lot of at Procter and Gamble was outplacement consulting. So it was an outplacement consulting group that recruited me to work with them. Through that process, I met one of their recent clients, I guess, who'd been outplaced at VP of American Express. And she got to know me and she said, Nancy, I'm not sure why you're thinking that this is a good thing to be doing. This is in the 90s. And she's the one with her bagload of money who got into wealth management. And she said, really, I think you should take a look at that as a whole new career, because really how women are being looked after in this industry is shameful. So meet with my boss, met with him. He and I hit it off immediately. He said, okay, well, you've got to have licenses. You can't just put out a shingle and, whatever. So away I went. And once I got in to the whole wealth management scenario, it was like, this is amazing. I should have been here 20 years earlier. Because in terms of leadership, you're with a great organization, you've got all your licenses, but now what? Well, now you got to go find your own clients. So now it's leadership to the max. If you're so smart, you go figure it out and find out who you can work with and add your unique value to. And that's when I started to focus on women, and not exclusively, but spent a lot of time with women. Obviously, the more women I got to know and their situations, the more you could see all sorts of challenges that women were facing. And that's where the Women Worth and Wellness brand came from. I started in wealth management in 92 and formed the brand in 94. So this year it's 31 years, and focusing on health as the cornerstone to your wealth scenario. And a lot of what's included in a fabulous wealth plan is anticipating health challenges so that when they happen, you're well protected, like critical illness or disability or premature death, whatever.
Mm.
And so back it up, I wanted women to be healthy. So what do we need to do in order to be healthy? Certainly a lot of it is increased awareness. And then secondly, to make it a priority as part of your living and obviously as part of your overall wealth plan. So, it really was one door closed and it evolved with another person. I used to do a lot of career counseling at Procter and Gamble. One of my best career counseling advices is pay attention to what other people think you should be doing. I never would have been in wealth management had it not been for this woman turning my head 180 degrees and saying, "Oh,
Look
so
over here. Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
you just, I mean, it's your life and it's an adventure and it's like being a fly on the wall watching it all unfold."
Yeah. I mean, you don't know what you don't know. And
Right.
so if someone gives you a little bit of insight, oh, well, how about that?
Yeah.
I love that. Now, I get the whole, check out the women in wealth thing. So that sparked something in you. Now we're going over there. Was there something or anything in your childhood, in your background, in your view of life and existence that triggered the health aspect of it? Was there, what were the messages you were given growing up?
Well, I think each of our mothers would have told us, if you don't eat your breakfast, you're not going to, blah, 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 blah. I think our mothers always were focused on our health. And my mother was just like that. She would often say, if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. Like your health is your AAA1 asset. And, that kept ringing in the back of my head all the way along. The irony is she died 2 years before I got into the business, which
Mm,
is too bad because she and I would have had wonderful conversations. But the other thing too is I should have been in wealth advisory right out of school because my dad always was an investor. And then my mother started her own stock account, did her own research. And this was already happening in my life, but it wasn't a career that I had considered, which was most unfortunate. There it all was. But the good news is that I did end up in that career eventually. And of course, from both my father and my mother, brought forward things that had surrounded me earlier on.
mm. So when you did decide to go into this field, did you notice a heightened awareness among your peers? Were you motivated by certain things around you? Were there things you were seeing gaps or needs amongst your friends, community members, neighbors and yeah, associates?
No, definitely. It's a fabulous business. It really, really is incredible because you're working with all sorts of different investment companies. Fidelity, for example, you would know Fidelity. They're a super company,
Sure.
really super.
Hmm.
And so you're learning a tremendous amount about all of the things that they're investing in and why. And when you're a wealth advisor, obviously the most important thing is that you have to know your client. It's like going to the doctor. The first thing they do is take blood work.
Hmm.
You've got to get a read on who is this person and what are they doing. And so the whole focus on women was really interesting. And this one company in Canada, investment company, they had a program that said, I think it was investing in yourself, investing for the future. Really, really great. They put it all together. And so I worked with that company to do one of my first events. And I think I had 172 women that showed up because it was such a great program
Mm.
and it was such great content for me to share with these women. And a lot of those women became clients. And as you start to work with those women, then you really start to get an appreciation for what in the world is going on in their lives
Yeah.
that this whole wealth plan must support. And so it was a real pleasure, real pleasure to work with all of these clients. Really terrific.
What would you say are some of the biggest needs amongst the women that you did meet and the women who are listening?
Well, often in situations, it's the mom who looks after health and it's dad who looks after the finances, not the day-to-day expenses, but it's the
Right.
investments.
Yeah.
And so a lot of women, this is the relationship that they've formed to begin with. So what is most important is that that woman steps up and takes an equal amount of responsibility on the whole planning for the future, the whole wealth plan. We know that women make 85% of the buying decisions. So why
Mm.
in the world are they not totally engaged in this whole scenario? And, now what's happening, fast forward 30 years later, women are earning way more than they've ever earned before. So stewarding that wealth, but they're also inheriting wealth with a whole lot more to come. That's a whole new power opportunity, but a learning opportunity because women's philanthropy is quite different from men's
Mhm.
and it's just starting to evolve. because women don't like to be front and center. Women don't like to step out and name buildings and wings of hospitals and all those kinds of things. They just don't do those sorts of things. But more and more, this is the power that they have. And so what will they do with that power? And are they aware of all of the possibilities of that power?
Ooh, say more about that.
Well, you can see Mackenzie Scott and you can see Melinda French Gates, what they're doing. They're real trailblazers. I
I,
really love what they're doing. And so this is what women have to decide is really, what do you care about? What do you care about? And do you care enough that you want to use your wealth power to do something? And in doing something, do you want to single yourself out? Because, sometimes women say to about other women, who does she think she is? Like, why
yeah,
is she doing that? And so this is the dilemma that women have. Am I going to do something? If I am going to do something, how public am I going to be? The other thing too is women never want to make a wrong decision. And so if you do decide to support a certain organization, how do you know how well that organization is looking after their business? Because if you do decide to step up and you give money and you find out that, something was fraudulent or something wasn't efficient, then that comes back on you and causes you to, do a turtle and just retreat.
right.
So there's lots going on in that whole area.
Pardon the interruption, but I have to ask, how are you feeling? Like legit, how do you feel day in and day out? Because if your answer is tired, bloated, achy, brain foggy, irritable, then that's not good. That's not the way we were meant to live. And somehow, so many of us accept that fate. We just think it's natural to get older and feel crappier. But my friends, it doesn't have to be that way. So I want to invite you into my plant-based group program. And let me just clarify, this is meant for you if you want to take your health seriously. You're done dieting and you just want to freaking feel good. I'm offering you support, guidance, cheerleading, recipes, checklists, all kinds of good stuff in a community so that you don't feel restricted and deprived and lonely. Think of it as dating veganism. You don't have to marry it, just go on a few dates. See how it goes. So please check the show notes or go right to gentlecoaching.com/veganism and let's get started. Oh, and if you refer someone who signs up, I will send you $100. Now let's get back to the episode. So what do you say to women who are hesitant to make a big bold decision, either because they've messed up in the past, or, and for people listening, I used air quotes there, or they've just never done it before?
Well, it's just a whole bunch of dialogue. It's a whole bunch of back and forth and conversation. And what do you feel comfortable with? And maybe you start small and then amplify from there. It's just everybody's different. Everybody's unique. Everybody's got a different amount of money. Everybody feels differently about that amount of money and what they want to do with it. So as a wealth advisor, you end up being a mini psychologist. You really are. Because at the end of the day, your value is to help that person be the best they possibly can be with their wealth, supporting who they are and what they want. So, it's small steps and lots of dialogue. What I always focused on was when my clients left my office, I wanted them to understand what we just agreed to or discussed. And maybe part of the agreement was we'll talk about this again, in a month or two, think about it, whatever. But for that person to feel very confident in their own mind that they knew what that conversation was all about and what they can possibly do, what action they can take, even if it's nothing, as a result of that conversation. In the absence of that, this is just swirling around in a person's head. And it's like, well, you're in New Hampshire, you've got snow. It's like being stuck in the snow. Like, am I going anywhere? No. And then sometimes it's stressful because you think you should be going somewhere, but you don't know which way to go. So this is the conversation that a wealth advisor can have with their clients to help them move off the mark.
Yes. That's a very clear visual. Being stuck in the snow. Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. For anyone who lives, I don't know, north of Virginia or some, they get a clear picture on that.
Right.
So at this age that a lot of the listeners are at, this sort of midlife, vague, I don't know, 40s, 50s, let's go with the assumption that they've accumulated some wealth, that there's,
Right.
that through career or, I've heard you say inheritance. Let's assume that there's some money to work with. I feel like there's two camps here. Either the people who say, wow, I'm on the downslope of life, time to live large, let's do something with it. Or the holy crap, uh, I've made all this money, but looking at the future, I gotta protect it because I'm nervous. I don't know what circumstances I'll be faced with. What do you say about that dilemma?
It's both. You have to do both. Like you've got to live your life. You have to get some reward for how well you have done to get to this point with that amount of wealth that you're really discussing options. And really that's why you have to do both. You have to live your life, but at the same time, you can't be frivolous. Like you can't be silly. I was just with a former client who's with a new advisor, and she was having a review, and she said, Nancy, I'd really like you to listen in on this conversation. I know him and he knows me, but he did not know that I was listening. She said, I just want to have a level of confidence that I'm not missing anything. So anyway, I was so impressed because she's living large. But at the same time, she's 78 and life is probably going to become more expensive going forward. What I heard him say was, you don't have to worry for three, and we all know what's happening with the stock markets. They're all over the place. And so what he said to her was, I've set aside enough money to support your needs for the next 3 years. And that will be revolving. So every time a year unfolds, then it's another hole. So she has a level of confidence that the markets go way up or way down. She's okay.
Mm.
And I thought that was very, very impressive. And then he went on to talk about things that he was selling and replacing, some that have done exceptionally well, time to take a profit. And this is what I'm looking at investing as a result of that. He really, really took her through the whole scenario, explained everything to the point where at the end of that conversation, she really had a level of confidence that she could keep on living large, which she's doing, but at the same time, know that he has her best interests in mind for her eventual future, which could be more expensive. And at that point in time, I kicked in and said, fabulous. I've been listening. This is perfect. This is wonderful. And, that was just a reinforcement to him to keep on doing all the good things that we've always known he did do, but she really did have a level of confidence. And so a lot of these podcasts I've talked about, everybody needs a trusted advisor, especially pertaining to your wealth scenario. And clearly that's who he is. And that's what everyone should have. So, back to your point, do I go big or do I hold? Well, you should probably be doing both. And the question to the wealth advisor is, given all of my wealth, how can I do both? How can I do both exceptionally well?
So your business, your mission, Women, Worth, and Wellness, what does it look like? What's the picture you see of a woman living fully?
Well, one topic that I picked up on recently that you'll get a kick out of is menopause. And I came roaring out on this topic because we have Sinai Hospital in Toronto who came up with a hot and bothered campaign. They put it front and center. And normally, of course, more people are talking about menopause, but even still, not talking it to its full extent. And it caught my attention. And I thought, oh my goodness, this is so important because women's leadership trajectory is just kicking up in such a positive way when they're in their 40s. And that's
Yeah.
exactly when these symptoms kick in. And the last thing that women ever want to be is embarrassed. And so often you step aside. You say, oh no, I can't do that because I'll have a hot flash or, whatever. And so I picked it up and, have pushed it out. I did a virtual and then I did another event afterwards. And I'll probably keep on going on this topic because there's so many aspects to menopause, so many aspects. And it's kept so, like, it's such an uncomfortable topic to bring up. I actually was invited to do a presentation to a wealth advisory group, mostly men. And this one gentleman, he said, "Oh my goodness," he said, "I thought it was hot flashes only."
Huh. Wow. I've had multiple physicians on this show, and I just interviewed another one the other day, and it is mind blowing the extensive list of symptoms
Exactly.
that end up being treated by other pharmaceuticals and interventions when it's not anxiety or it's not some sort of skin disease or something. It's all related.
I know, amazing. Well, when you're a wealth advisor, you're licensed for investments and insurance. And I often say, if you want to find out how healthy you are, apply for life insurance because they go over your entire well-being with a very fine tooth comb. And more often than not, it doesn't come back. Okay, this person's in perfect health. We give them the best premium. They'll come back with some rating. And one of the ratings could be early dementia, which is probably brain fog.
Right.
So you
That's what
can
I'm
see,
talking about.
so
Yeah.
you can see the implications. And that's why awareness is crucial. And women's health research is crucial. Like, wait a minute, this is not early dementia. This is
Right.
what brain fog is.
So what do we do about that? If someone is in a situation where that diagnosis is given to them, but it's inaccurate, then what?
Well, that's why, it goes back to the trusted advisor for
Mm,
both your health and your wealth. And if it comes back that way, you say, I want a second opinion. And you find a second opinion from the best resource you can locate. And
yeah.
and that's often very, very challenging. But
Yeah.
this Sinai Health that did the hot and bothered, I just had a meeting with them yesterday, and we're planning on doing a whole lot more on this topic, including raising some money. I said, I hope to raise $1 million, $1,000 from 1,000 women. Like,
Mm.
who's not prepared to invest $1,000 into better research into this whole topic? And really bring it front and center. And I mean, the expression, go big or go home. We're now saying go big and don't go home. Like, keep going, keep going,
I love
keep
that.
going. Don't
Oh,
step up because the world needs many more women in leadership roles.
yeah. We need this mission not just in Toronto, but bring that down
Ever.
here.
Exactly. Everywhere,
Yeah,
everywhere. Keep
Nancy, you're not done. You have a global crusade ahead of you.
That's it. Well, it's interesting with these podcasting experiences because literally it's women from all over the world. And to your point, it's 100% spot on. 100% spot on. And, my mission is to focus on all of this because we need more women leaders.
Yeah.
We see what in the world's going on, and women would not be as inhumane as we're seeing a lot of things. So obviously, we're not going to talk politics, but that's my mission underlying. Like, you know, first of all, pay attention to your health because that's your greatest asset. And then get out there and keep going and put your uniqueness forward. Really.
Mm, I love that. So we were talking a little bit about that sort of maybe not occupational, but other purpose, other drive. And you talked about the age of integrity in
Right.
our conversation before. Tell the audience what that means if no one's encountered that phrase before.
Well, the community in which I live has so many amazing women that are over 80 that are doing incredible things. So I'm going to start a Women Worth and Wellness Awards event. I'm just in the process of ramping that up.
Wow.
And we have the oldest community newspaper in Canada, 1830. Most of them are gone. This one had two English professors, a couple, land in the community during COVID, and they'd always decided to use their journalistic talents for community enhancement. You wouldn't believe what they're doing. I mean, they're so impressive. So it's a couple, and wait till I tell you, I mean, they're just amazing. They're parents to two sets of twins plus one other child. Like, they're
Oh my
busy
God.
people. So
Wow.
It's Karen and Chris. And so I said to Karen, I want her to help me promote this Women Worth and Wellness Age of Integrity award ceremony. And I said, I want to start it for 65 plus. She said, Nancy, you got to start it at 50. Like 50. People need to get the message. And very simply, age of integrity, as I can't believe I've lived this long. I can't believe I've done this well. And I really want to give back in a small way, a large way, whatever. But I really want to give way in a very, very positive way. And so it's a whole concept that I think can really be brought front and center to help women realize the power that they have. And often it's just, kindness is the beginning and reaching out and supporting others. And then, this one woman, she started a school in Ghana and she's doing amazing things. Another woman had a whole radio career and she interviews people who are reading books. And she is such a skillful interviewer. Another one, we're on Lake Ontario. We've got this terrific, huge, wonderful rural bunch of land. She's got a South Shore Joint Initiative. She managed through her influence and her work on this board, as the executive director, to get 400 acres turned into a provincial park. So, I mean, these women are just trailblazers to the max, and they're not stopping anytime soon, which is amazing.
Right, thank God.
Exactly.
Wow. Just a quick interruption here to tell you about the Gentle Coaching 4-week quick start plant-based lifestyle program. Whether you've got serious health concerns or you just want to drop a few pounds, clear up your skin, sleep better, and have more energy, clarity, and joy in your life, it's all available for you here in this program. As a vegan lifestyle coach, I am going to support you as you transition from the standard American diet full of animals, oil, sugar, salt, chemicals, dyes, and natural flavorings to a more whole food, plant-based lifestyle that doesn't need to harm animals in order to provide nourishing, delicious, healthy, nutrient-rich, colorful, craving-busting, mood-boosting meals. So click the link in the show notes or go directly to gentlecoaching.com/veganism and join now. Okay, let's get back to the show. So for people listening who are on board, they're now feeling tingles inside of, okay, I've got some comfort in the bank and I'm inspired with the women Nancy just mentioned. I don't know what to do though. I don't know where to start. I would like to have more goodness, community involvement. I don't know what to do. What would you say to them?
Okay, well, it's really like pick your passion, but I will also say be really, really careful of how you step out. So it's really good to participate in many different events. So you get a feeling for who's doing what, but more importantly, you get a feeling for who are these people? Because the worst thing that you can do is step into a group that's not your group and then try to back out of it. That's not a good thing at all. So proceed with caution, but there are lots of things going on in communities, and you say to yourself, what do you care about? Do you care about kids? Do you care about animals? Do you care about what in the world's going on? What do you care about? Do you care politically? Often that's a good place to begin. And often it's good to go, I always found that with women, they like to go with a friend or two or three. And when they go, then they become a little mini group to talk about what they experienced. And then they'll more often share it. Like, wow, this was amazing. Let's, have you thought about doing whatever? And being with other people and being part of these groups is fun. That's assuming you get with the right one that you care about. So proceed with caution, be careful, but don't hide under the couch and stay at home. Like, get out there and do something.
Yeah, I love that. Do not stay under the couch. Don't stay on the
No.
couch. Don't stay by the couch. Just get out. Which also connects to my next question, which is you mentioned to me it doesn't matter how much money you have if your health is garbage. So what does that inspire you to do? What do you do to promote good health?
Very good question. Very good question. I mean, we all know we need exercise. We all know that we need to eat properly. I think, again, going back to my earlier point, see if you can find a trusted advisor who can help you with, like, if your health isn't great, where do you go? Do you go to the
Mm.
Emerge? Do you have a doctor? Do you have a health practitioner? Where do you go if you've got a question? And see if you can get something in place so that you've got that level of confidence you've got to go to. I'm lucky to be healthy. So far, so good. My husband, not so much. My doctor is terrific. He finally agreed to take on my husband, who needs the help. And it's amazing to see how well he's being looked after. Doesn't
Mm.
take a lot of time, and more often than not, you're texting a lot. But then you set up, he's got blood pressure challenges. Okay, I want you to come back in a month. This is a new medication, and before you come, go get blood work. Okay, so now he's got another opportunity for a check-in. So my point is, try to find a trusted advisor who can help you with your health. But again, we know what we should be doing. If you've already got something that is a challenge health-wise, like COPD, which is what he has, or who knows? Maybe it's heart disease in your family. Who knows? So kind of know your health MO and pay attention to it. But at the same time, don't sit on the couch. Get out and keep going. My husband has a 94-year-old sister who's had everything go wrong with her. Recently, she broke her pelvis. So we thought, and she's in the hospital, we thought, okay, this is the end. Nope. And her attitude is keep moving, keep
Right?
moving. So keep moving. So when something happens, don't let it be a showstopper.
You have such a great spirit and purpose behind you. Who inspires you?
Well, my mother continues to inspire me, and there are just many people. I'm a Rotarian. I just finished up as the president of our club, and through that process, you meet all sorts of inspiring people. It's amazing. And of course, because of the whole purpose of Rotary, which is to, fundraise and then support, give back, through that process, you meet all sorts of different people doing different things, not for profit. So lots of inspiration coming from lots of different places. My probably one of my immediate inspirations is a real estate agent with whom I went to the Rotary International Convention in Calgary, and we presented ourselves as the Thelma and Louise from Picton and Rotary. And she's 82, and she is amazing. The whole time we're there, she's doing deals, she's talking on the phone, she's got all sorts of challenges, but she deals with them all with grace and determination. And I thought I was doing a lot, but keeping up with her is a challenge. And so, you just take a second look at people around you who are doing amazing things, and you'll find that they just send that inspiration right back to you.
Mm, that's so good. I love that you mention these, if it's fair to say, elderly
Yes,
people,
of
um,
course.
because I've heard you talk about ageism, and I certainly don't want to be offensive in that realm, but it just sounds like people who inspire you happen to be older, and we live in a world that or at least where I don't know, in America, it, elderly people are forgotten. They're
Sideline.
dismissed.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
sidelined. Sidelined.
yeah. So, in the spirit of this podcast, how do we get them off the sidelines? How do you suggest we shift the commentary on ageism?
Well, first of all, don't let yourself be sidelined. And at the age of 40 or 50, know that you've probably got another 50 years to go. So that's a lot of time. But
Yeah.
at the same time, it's a privilege because we know there's so many people in this world who just don't live that long. And that was part of my menopause presentation. Think about it. Every single woman in this entire world who has lived this long will go through menopause. I mean, think about it. It's mind-boggling. But don't allow yourself to be sidelined. And more often than not, how we become sidelined, two things. One is your attitude, of course. But the
Mm,
second thing is don't let your health fail. Because if your health fails, then you're going to be dependent. on somebody else. I have this one lady that I did so many different events with, and she said, never get yourself to the point where you can't get off the toilet. If you can't get off the toilet, then guess what? You're needing help. If you need
Yeah.
help, now you're vulnerable.
Mm,
So that's why, the 94-year-old who says, keep moving,
yeah.
it's spot on. Like, don't
Yeah.
don't allow yourself to be sidelined.
Well, if that's a visual people can't grasp, I don't know what is. I mean, there's a lot of things that people might not be able to relate to. Snow,
Right.
sailing on the lake that you might be near.
Yep.
But the toilet is one that everybody visits several times a day. So as women, we know that we sit down on a toilet and need to get off of it.
Right.
That's a good
Well,
one.
this lady's terrific. I'm about to do possibly another. I may tie her in with this idea of the Age of Integrity Awards because, I mean, she is so inspiring. You just have to tell people to be prepared to be scraped off the ceiling because she just winds everybody up. She's written a book. This is probably 10 years ago now, and it's called Use the Good Dishes. Use
I
the good
love
dishes.
that.
Like, what are you doing? Why wouldn't
That's,
you use the good dishes? And so what if one breaks?
God, that's so good.
It is so good. And then she became a rapper. So she wrote poetry and then turned it into rapping. No, she's amazing. She is really, really incredible.
Who is this woman?
Her name is Elaine Demby. You could reach out Dr. Elaine Demby,
Wow.
Dembe. And she is, well, I have to tell you a story about her. We did an event on March the 11th, 2020,
Oh,
and
wow.
and we crafted it the previous December. What's the theme? What's the, agenda, blah, blah, blah. And it was, we're heading into 2020, right?
Oh
So it was 2020, perfect vision for the road ahead.
my God. That's brilliant,
That's the
Nancy.
day the world fell apart. But I had 127 women. And the way women behave is often, it's like a grass fire. They hear that this event, and are you going to that? Well, I didn't hear about it. I wonder if I can still get that morning we had 15 women sign up, three at a time, whatever. And the lady who was doing the hospitality, I said, can you accommodate? Yeah, oh yeah, whatever. She was a loaves and fishes. Anyway, this Elaine Demi was the featured speaker, but then we had three other women business owners sharing their story about perfect vision for the road ahead. And of course, had it happened a day later, people would have been
Yeah.
canceling left, right, and center. So
Wow.
Elaine and I still laugh about that. Like, can you believe that?
How fortuitous. Wow.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
Yep.
That's so good. So, before we wrap up, I'm just curious, what are your favorite ways to promote your own health?
Well, first of all, don't take your health for granted. Like the fact that you get up in the morning and expect your body to just go, 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 go. Like really don't take it for granted. And any chance I get to reinforce good health through and we've got a brand new hospital that's being built, so be supportive of that whole initiative. I mentioned Sinai Health. I'm probably doing a golf tournament for another hospital that's brand new in the community that we moved from. So it's get in the middle of people who are doing health related events. And actually, that's a great way for people to step out into the community is
Mm,
focusing on your local hospital because everybody needs a hospital close by. And that's a great way to find out some good people, some good possibilities, some good ways to fundraise, whatever. So any chance I get to promote good health, obviously, I do that. And just I tell people your health is your greatest asset. It really is. As long as you can get up and move around, there are new opportunities for you to experience, to put a
mm.
smile on your face like you're smiling now.
Well, you're making me smile.
But it's true, we just take our health for granted so much.
Yeah.
And but so what? Keep moving and get out there and do something.
Someone said to me the other day, people suck. The world is full of, terrible people and angry, complaining, just negative people. And the reason I continue with this show, interview after interview after interview, is to connect with people like you who bring a smile to my face. So
Perfect.
thank
Wonderful.
thank you for that.
Wonderful. My pleasure. I enjoy it and you enjoy it. That's
Yeah.
what we're doing, which is wonderful. Really, really good.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm just so grateful that you took the time to come on and encourage, inspire these listeners to focus on their health, their overall health and well-being, which obviously includes a wealth plan.
Correct. Well, I'll just say one more thing that just came to mind, and that is I saw some things recently about youth and mental health. I mean, that's a big, huge challenge. Huge
Mm-hmm.
challenge. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we're all that much older, but if you're a young person today, I think it's really, really difficult. But as a parent, this is something that they suggested you say. So when your child comes home from school, we're always anxious to know, well, what happened today? But reframe that question so that they get used to you being them being prepared uh, because they know you're going to ask the question. What's one good thing that happened today? So what's one good thing that happened today? So you're creating a mindset of positivity
Yep.
rather than, oh my God, that sounds awful. Well, blah, 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 blah. So just don't focus on the
Right.
negative.
Right. So instead of how was your day, which is so
Right.
vague and so, oh, it was crap, everything went wrong.
Right.
No, just tell me one good thing.
Exactly.
If everything else turns to crap today, I had a great
Right.
conversation with Nancy.
There you go. Life is good.
Right?
Life
Right?
is
No
good.
matter what else transpires, I had a great chat with Nancy today. So let's
There
just
you
leave
go.
it at that.
Exactly. Well, thank you, Jenny. It was a pleasure.
All right. So before I let you go, please tell everybody where they can be more inspired by you.
Okay, well, we're on all the social medias, and if you don't have that info, then I'll make sure you do have it.
Yes.
But if anybody's got a direct question right now, just send me an email. It's Nancy@womenworthwellness.com. Send me a question. I'm happy to respond. No problem. My pleasure.
And so, with that, I want to invite you to raise a glass.
I've got my coffee cup.
Perfect. Love it. Hello, lovely to you. And we are going to say cheers to getting off the couch and doing something.
Right. Exactly.
Cheers
Right.
to you.
Move, 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 move.
Amazing. Thank you, Nancy. I'm so grateful to you and wish you continued success.
And likewise, likewise, keep smiling. My sign off is always stay vertical and keep smiling.
Right back at you. I'm doing it and wishing it right to you.
Okay, my dear. Thank you so much.
Another great conversation here on Sideline Sisters. Now, let me get into Nancy Griffin's notes from the sidelines. Number one, we're not spending the time talking to ourselves and asking ourselves, did this work? Did it not work? So what? Now what? Number two, to figure out what you really want to do, you have to just go and trust that the universe will unfold and something will happen. And if you go back and listen to my conversation with Trinette Faint, she shared a similar message of trusting the universe. Number three, a great wealth plan includes anticipating health challenges so when they happen, you're well protected. Your health is your best asset. Number four, women should take equal responsibility in finances, not just the day to day groceries, kids' activities, that sort of thing, but big picture. Because women make 85% of buying decisions. And women are making more money than ever before, so it's about stewarding that wealth. Number five, everybody needs a trusted advisor for both health and wealth. Number six, it is so important to learn about menopause and understand all of the many symptoms because something as simple as brain fog could be mistaken for early dementia when it's really related to what's going on hormonally. And I have 3 really outstanding menopause focused episodes for you to enjoy. So check out episode 69 with Karine Luna Ostaseski, episode 64 with Dr. Kat Brown, and episode 58 with Dr. Prudence Hall. I think you will find all of those conversations really insightful as far as menopause information. Number 7, the expression go big or go home. Nancy likes to say, go big and don't go home. Keep going, because the world needs powerful women in leadership roles. Number 8, when Nancy talks about the age of integrity, she means the idea of, I can't believe I've lived this long and can't believe I've done this well, and now I really want to give back. Number 9, look around you at the people doing amazing things and you will find inspiration. Number 10, don't take waking up in the morning for granted. Really be grateful for your health. And finally, number 11, to create a mindset of positivity, ask yourself, what's one good thing that happened today? And do that every day. Thank you again to Nancy Griffin for coming on Sideline Sisters and sharing your personal experience and valuable perspective on how to focus on growing wealth and maintaining good health. So please, if you enjoyed this episode, share it right now with a friend and make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you are getting easy access to these conversations week after week. Another reminder to focus on your health by joining my 4-week quick start plant-based lifestyle program, where I will guide you lovingly, gently, and excitedly toward incorporating more plants into your life so that you look and feel fantastic and keep yourself on this solid, strong, healthy trajectory. I will make this program so easy for you, so please don't be scared of the word vegan when I tell you to head to gentlecoaching.com/veganism. It's going to be great. You will love it. And with that, I want to wish you an amazing week, and I'll see you right back here next time for my conversation with the beautiful and brilliant Lorraine Hightower, where we will discuss education, neurodiversity, and navigating how to advocate for a child with needs. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers to you.